Okay, Leo, hi, I hope you're doing well. I'm going to be doing a reading from the 4th to the 10th of January. I'm going to be looking at what's going on in the week, but also looking at some of your past, present, and future energies. But let's just get going. So can I have a tarot card, 3 tarot cards for Leo, please? I completely forgot what sign I was doing there. Woo, flew out. The Wheel of Fortune, some fated events. Ooh. 10 of Swords. Okay, you're rejecting this idea of like being in pain. You're just like, nope. Yeah, 2 of Swords, yeah, rejecting this idea of pain. You guys are just like, whoa, I've been through it. Can we have a past card, please? Strength, which is the sign of Leo. Fantastic. So in the past, you've always been a strong lion. And future card, please. Ooh, cool, flying out everywhere. Ooh, Knight of Cups. So we're getting this kind of proposal. This is looking really nice, guys. And we'll just get a oracle card too. Acceptance. Yeah, we're accepting things. Wow, okay, amazing. So yeah, in the past we've been this strength card, which is obviously the sign for Leo, is this lion jumping over the dragon and having a lot of fight in you. You guys are warriors, okay? You're super strong people. You kind of just break things, you know, to get you know, through things. You're very motivated, but you've always had this inner strength that has allowed you to not only flow with the universe, but also kind of conquer ruin and pain. I say that because we've got this 10 of Swords in reverse, okay? 10 of Swords in reverse is fantastic because this is you rejecting ruin and pain. You are like, no, I don't want this in my life anymore. So some of you in the past have had to be strong because you've had that ruin and pain in your life, particularly with relationships, particularly. But a lot of you, you know, you've really struggled at home sometimes with arguments, with feeling like you know, you don't always, you feel sometimes like you don't always get what others have. You know, you kind of judge yourself a lot. But I think you're putting yourself against having this grief and things being done to you. And now you're like, you know what? I do things to me. I have that personal power. And you're rejecting that ruin and the pain in that week. So, you know, be options in your life in which you have the option to say, I'm going to do this and I know it's going to hurt me. Or to be like, no, I don't want to put myself through that anymore because otherwise it's going to set the home on fire. And I don't want to do that, right? We've also got Queen of Swords in reverse. Again, can you see this girl fighting the dragon? So we've got this idea about fighting and climbing these dragons and these beasts, you know, again, being a real kind of warrior. It's so funny as well because Queen of Swords in reverse is kind of saying to me that you want people to kind of, you want to be around people, you know, you want to actually, you sort of don't want, I what the word is, you know, you want to be more lucky. You know, this is a really good card in reverse, to be lucky, because normally this is kind of like quite a misfortunate type of card, but this is actually to be lucky. But I think in some way, because you've gone through a period in which you've had to be so strong, you want to reject trouble and pain and strife and grief, you feel a bit like tired, you know, you're like, I don't really feel as on it as I was before. I don't really feel like as good as a warrior as I was. You're feeling a little bit tired. But you know you're rejecting this pain again with the 3 of Swords in reverse. 3 of Swords is really, it's about having this strife and this sorrow, but to have it in reverse is saying, actually, no, I am not going to do that anymore. Can you see in upright, the knives are going into the apple, and the apple is this subjective thing that doesn't have any choice. But in reverse, the apple is going onto the swords, okay? So it's again this idea about personal power in which you are taking things on. You're not letting pain hurt you. It's your choice to put pain onto yourself, which is what I said about that Queen of Swords, and that you feel like a little bit like, I don't feel as sharp as a warrior as I was, but now I have this 3 of Swords in reverse. Some of you guys have got some air placements in your chart, because to have 3 swords energy is a lot of air, but to all have them in reverse is like really, really good. It's very strong. It's really, really good. And I think actually, I want to say for you guys, for Leos, that you're being looked out for in a way that, you know, maybe you never thought you would be, because we've got this Wheel of Fortune, which is like fated events. And to me, this is like the universe looking out for you. Okay, so this is the universe being like, I'm going to give you an outcome and a conclusion that's really going to work. So it's funny because we've just had 2021 starting, and you think that's a new beginning, but actually for some of you, you're wrapping up things and starting fresh, going into sort of like middle of January instead of actually being like, you know what, I'm cutting off at the end of 2020. This Wheel of Fortune says that we're wrapping things up in a conclusion in a kind of nice, neat bow. And actually, I find this Wheel of Fortune card quite interesting because this can be either a positive or a negative depending on what your perception is. And that Queen of Swords also tells me that you sometimes have a lack of perception. You sometimes feel that you can't see things clearly, and this idea of being blindfolded, it comes through in that Three of Swords, and that you will have clarity soon. But I think, this Wheel of Fortune is that you can either have a perfect home, you can have a tower moment in which everything breaks, but it has to be the strength that you put into your life. So you kind of have these moments in your life, and they are your moments to have. 2 major arcanas. What will you do with those? We also, in the future, we've got this Knight of Cups as well. So this says to me, this is an advancement and a proposal of sorts. So especially for you guys who have had a really bad moment with love, you are starting to move out of that, okay? You're starting to have a proposal and advancement. And actually, particularly, this is sort of one of those, everything is perfect, everything is natural, everything is butterflies, and you're someone who actually gives you butterflies. You have a moment in which you think, I just really like this person. If you're in a relationship already, it's like, I just love this person, they are really, really for me. I also see that for you guys who aren't in relationships, you're going to be meeting someone new that's very bizarre. And I mean that in a nice way, in that they don't do things the way that most people do. They actually are really happy to go through their own kind of way. And it's so interesting about that sword and air energy because I get such Aquarius vibes from them. And I feel this idea about romantic partners who are in Aquarius just kind of flows off the tongue a little bit for you guys, And I think that's strength in the past, and this Knight of Cups in the future. You've had to be strong, and I think you've had to accept things. The oracle for the whole week is acceptance. Accepting where you are right now and kind of saying, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to move kind of forward. I'm going to push forward. I'm going to accept with the strength that I've always had. It actually takes a lot of strength to accept things, okay? Because what you fight will always fight back. And if you become a warrior, if you have that Queen of Swords in upright, I'd actually worry more. Because I think you're fighting something you can't win. Because this Wheel of Fortune gives us an idea about conclusions. And in which case that you are actually beginning to invite the negative side of that card into your life by fighting too much. So now we're pushing that forward and being like, you know what? I'm accepting that this is what's happened in my life, and I feel lucky. I feel lucky because I know I'm going to get this proposal. I know I'm going to get this kind of advancement that I've always wanted. So you guys have got a little bit of a luck going on, but I think you are, for that week in particular, from the 4th to the 10th, you are having some acceptance in your life and you're really pushing forward. So that's a really super short and sweet reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of a rundown of what's going on in the week and maybe some of the energies that are going to go into the future weeks too. But if you did like it, please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you very much.